Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. Starting last night, speculation became widespread within the XRP community on social media that there could potentially be a Ripple settlement. And the article on your screen from Bitcoinist.com, no less, indicates just that. This is one of many articles covering this, and this piece was titled, Leak Reveals SEC Will Make Major Announcement Today. Ripple settlement, ? Which is why the inflection in my voice does this. And turns out that is not the case. Now, I was happy to address this topic, being widely discussed this morning. And while I wasn't going to flat out say, no, this is not going to happen, it won't be a Ripple settlement, I did not think that was remotely probable, and I made that clear in a video literally this morning. And I took it a step further and shared what I thought would be the case. I thought it would actually be the case that the SEC announcement, and this is based on leaks that I had seen from a number of people tracking this, including a Fox Business journalist, Eleanor Terrett, who's been covering the SEC v. Ripple case quite a bit, by the way, quite well. But based on that, I thought what's most probable in the timeline of various events was that this is actually going to be a settlement with Kraken, cryptocurrency exchange Kraken, and that ends up being exactly what this was. So no Ripple settlement, but I want to provide with you some thoughts from a number of individuals that following this case, including attorney Jeremy Hogan, including attorney John Deaton. I've got stuff that I'm really looking forward to sharing this part of the video, actually. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce, right after this news publicly broke, it got slapped on the official SEC website. Hester Peirce pushing back against all of this nonsense from the SEC and making it clear that the gross behavior here, the regulation by enforcement, is not something that we should stand for. So I'll share with you all the specifics, but before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I'm not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to mention this at the outset too. It's been reported by Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett, and I'll share the specifics in a minute or two here, that what's now being dubbed a midnight massacre, as reported by Eleanor Terrett, the SEC under Gary Gensler is going to go absolutely ballistic, and we should see in the coming weeks just a smattering of lawsuits against all sorts of entities and perhaps individuals even. We'll see how far the devastation reaches, but it's supposed to be like basically a shock and awe campaign against all things crypto. Completely ridiculous and offensive. But anyway, so we knew that something was happening just yesterday surrounding Kraken. There was this headline. I talked about it, so you can see February 8th. This is from Decrypt. SEC investigating crypto exchange Kraken over securities violations. So it turns out that Kraken, again, one of the largest exchanges on the entire damn planet, had been under investigation by the SEC for some time. And then we got news from Eleanor Terrett that there was going to be some sort of major announcement, and she was one of the people also speculating, hey, maybe it's going to be some sort of settlement agreement with Kraken. And we learned this afternoon that's indeed what it was. Here's a headline from CoinDesk this afternoon. Kraken agreed to shutter U.S. crypto staking operations to settle SEC charges. Source. And so this headline was the first one to come out in crypto media that I was able to find. They had an inside source. Although this actually, and this is the reason it was the first one, is because technically this was before the SEC made the official declaration that there had been settlement. This is just, I don't know if it's like I can't remember, half hour to an hour before the news actually came out, because there was a leaker. And Gary Gensler wasn't happy about that. In fact, based on everything leaking out, Eleanor Terrett was told, and again, Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett, she was told by an inside source that Gary Gensler was pretty pissed off, which, I mean, I'm kind of happy about that. If it makes him furious, like, I'm feeling good inside. That's an awful monster of a human destroying people's lives from a financial perspective. So Eleanor Terrett, before the official SEC decree came out, she tweeted out the following. Just received the following text from a source. Quote, don't be surprised if Gary Gensler pulls the announcement and moves it to next week's closed meeting because he is pissed it was leaked, end quote. So happy to see Gary Gensler is pissed off that his release here, which he was taking glee in because it's all about him and his ego, I think. And his next step, career-wise, and it's for him. I don't even think it's about the money because he's already filthy rich. He's worth over $100 million. It's just the type of person, right? But anyway, he was absolutely furious over this, apparently to the point where he was potentially, somebody thought on the inside, going to make a childish decision because he was pouting to delay the announcement, even though it had already leaked. But then he bounced back from it, and the announcement came out, and here was the tweet from Gary Gensler. And he wrote, "Today, SEC charged Kraken for the unregistered offer and sale of securities through its staking as a service program. Whether it's through staking as a service, lending, or other means, crypto intermediaries must provide the proper disclosures and safeguards required by our law." And so, in a nutshell, Kraken agreed to pay $30 million as a fine and to eliminate its staking program, and also to never have a staking program in the future ever again, even if it were found to be a legal activity. Pretty intense right there. But, the hell that would have been raining down upon them had they not agreed to settlement, who knows? So they did kind of take the little bit more of a wimpy, limp-wristed approach to dealing with the SEC rather than fighting back like Ripple, but is what it is here. And then as far as whether or not this should or should not be the case, look, it's not clear what protections necessarily would have been provided. If there were registration, it's not clear what the registration would even look like. Is it even possible? It doesn't seem like it would have been, and I'll show you in just a second because Hester Peirce had some stuff to say on that. But this doesn't mean that staking in crypto is literally illegal, at least not yet, although who the hell knows with Kim Jong-Gensler in charge. But you got to differentiate between staking, in which effectively you're handing over the keys to your crypto to a third party, and who knows what they do with it. Do they hand it out? Investing purposes, this or that. That's different than, a consensus mechanism that utilizes proof of stake, in which case you're not handed over to some sort of middleman. Now, of course, even then, the SEC, if you think that they're not going to come after Ethereum after having switched to proof of stake, maybe they don't, but I'm still concerned. The day that Ethereum officially switched to proof of stake this past year, Gary Gensler happened to make this broad statement about how proof of stake systems, might fall under the umbrella of the SEC. Might be securities effectively. It just happened to be on the day that Ethereum switched to proof of stake, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He's talking about Ethereum, damn it. Like we're not idiot sticks here. Oh my God, Kim Jong-Gensler. It really burns my biscuits, son. So here is what Commissioner Hester Peirce had to say. And again, Hester Peirce, one of 5 commissioners who gets to vote on things, whether or not to bring legal actions against any sort of entity. She's one of 5 votes, and that's it. And she is against this. She is dissenting against this. So here's what was shared. This is on the official SEC website from Hester Peirce, Commissioner, which reads as follows. Today, the SEC shut down Kraken's staking program and counted it as a win for investors. I disagree and therefore dissent. Kraken operated a service through which its customers could offer their tokens up for staking. The customers earned returns and the company earned a fee. The commission argues that this staking program should have been registered with the SEC as a securities offering. Whether one agrees with that analysis or not, the more fundamental question is whether SEC registration would have been possible. In the current climate, crypto-related offerings are not making it through the SEC's registration pipeline. An offering like the staking service at issue here raises a host of complicated questions, including whether the staking program as a whole would be registered or whether each token staking program would be separately registered, what the important disclosures would be, and what the accounting implications would be for Kraken. So I'll just pause the state already right there, and you're getting some inside tidbits here from Commissioner Hester Peirce. The SEC doesn't even know how registration would take place. And it's not clear what necessarily, what benefits would be made, or what would this change. So here's the thing, in a general sense, and this is my personal opinion, some people might disagree, it's fine. In a general sense, I just want the government to leave me alone when it comes to investing. If I make mistakes and I lose fine, that's me. Let me do my own damn homework, leave me alone. I want to be able to do what I want to do. But the government seems to have this approach of, we don't even know how you get your own damn shirt on in the morning, so we're not going to let you invest in whatever you want to invest in because you're too stupid. We're going to protect you from yourself because you're too stupid for your own good. That's effectively the approach that it's just a different way of looking at the world. And so it's not that I'm saying literally there shouldn't be some sort of opportunity. The way that I look at it is, you could even potentially have different classes of stuff like, hey, these were vetted by the SEC. I'm not against that. It's got an extra badge, a stamp of approval, and if that's what people, fine. But don't tell me what I can and can't do, okay? Let me choose as an adult human what risks I want to take on here. But again, even setting that aside, the problem is it's not possible to register, which is why this whole thing is a big sham. It's totally disingenuous. You should have come in and registered. We don't know how you do it, and it's not possible, but you should have done it. Thank you, Kim Jong-Ginsler, for absolutely nothing other than destroying what would be a burgeoning industry in the United States. You're pushing everything overseas. What a complete and utter monster. Can you tell it's grinding my gears? So anyway, Hester Peirce continues, though. She wrote, "We have known about crypto staking programs for a long time. Although it may not have made a difference, I should have called for us to put out guidance on staking long before now. Instead of taking the path of thinking through staking programs and issuing guidance, we again chose to speak through an enforcement action purporting to, quote, make clear to the marketplace that staking as a service providers must register and provide full, fair, and truthful disclosure and investor protection, end quote." So that's from Kim Jong-Ginsler, obviously. And then Hester says, "Using enforcement actions to tell people what the law is in an emerging industry is not an efficient or fair way of regulating. Moreover, staking services are not uniform, so one-off enforcement actions and cookie-cutter analysis does not cut it. Most concerning, though, is that our solution to a registration violation is to shut down entirely a program that has served people well. The program will no longer be available in the United States, and Kraken is enjoined from ever offering a staking service in the United States, registered or not. A paternalistic and lazy regulator settles on a solution like the one in this settlement. Do not initiate a public process to develop a workable registration process that provides valuable information to investors. Just shut it down. More transparency around crypto staking programs like Kraken's might well be a good thing. However, whether we need a uniform regulatory solution, and if that regulatory solution is best provided by a regulator that is hostile to crypto in the form of an enforcement action, is less clear." Golf clap for Commissioner Peirce, everybody. Spot on. Again, asking people to do things that are literally impossible, like come in and register a cryptocurrency, which is decentralized that you don't have any damn power over. As pointed out very thoroughly by attorney Jeremy Hogan, is not possible. It's literally not possible, which is so gross. Here is a comment from Tom Emmer, who was House Majority Whip, and he has publicly stated, even before all this went down, XRP clearly is not a security. So, thumbs up on that. But he wrote here, "To be clear, staking enables more people to participate in building the next generation of the internet. Gary Gensler's regulatory purgatory strategy hurts everyday Americans the most, leaving them in the dust while these opportunities are accessible offshore." Again, spot on. From John Deaton's Crypto Law Organization. "The fact that he is making cringy jokes about something he cares so little about shows that Gary Gensler is not interested in protecting investors or providing clarity to the markets." From attorney Jeremy Hogan. "Kraken offers up to 20% on staked tokens. Bank of America offers 0.0001% and a paperclip. Of course the SEC would shut it down." See, he's right, though. It's like a comical approach to observing this, but yes, he's nailing it. It's disgusting. Here's a Bill Morgan, attorney within the XRP community, says Gensler's mission is to put the United States in any crypto business at a disadvantage to the whole world and deny U.S. retail investors opportunities available to investors outside the United States. But you'll be protected, in air quotes, of course. From Eleanor Terrett. Oh, yes, the Midnight Massacre. You see, we've got so much to look forward to being in crypto in the United States. We got so much to look forward to. Here it is from Eleanor Terrett, Fox Business journalist. Scoop. Gary Gensler is embarking on a midnight massacre in an attempt to bring all of crypto under his control. In the coming weeks, the SEC, the New York Department of Financial Services, I think is what NYDFS stands for, and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency will be bringing a myriad of enforcement actions against exchanges, banks, and entities that mint tokens in an attempt to label the majority of them as securities. I'm told Gensler's strategy is to bring as many enforcement actions as possible while the 118th Congress is still getting its bearings. Oh, folks, so much to look forward to. So much to look forward to. Doesn't this sound, is this like a crypto shock and awe campaign, man? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So Attorney Deaton retweeted that from Eleanor Terrett, and he said, "Some of us have seen this coming for a long time. It will get worse before it gets better." And indeed, John Deaton was one of the earliest screaming from the rooftops this, going back, certainly throughout 2022 in particular, but he was talking about before that. Here's something from Jake Stravinsky, a well-known attorney, just in broader, he's not in the XRP community, but just in the broader world of crypto. And he shared the following with his 121,400 followers. And this is interesting and insightful. He says, "Settlements are not law. They're a decision that the economics of settling are better than fighting, no more. The SEC thinks staking as a service is a security. Kraken didn't admit or deny either way. It may be a tough question, but the SEC hasn't answered it either way today." So there you go. This whole thing with Kraken shut down. They can never have a similar service ever again, even if it becomes clear in the future that it's not illegal. They can't do it because they signed on that dotted line, gave up the $30 million. So all of that happened, and there's no additional clarity from it whatsoever. In fact, not from a legal perspective, the one thing that's clear is that the SEC is going to go on a rampage in coming days, including anybody that wants to do what Kraken was doing. That part's clear. We were clear about that. But that doesn't help anyone, except for Kim Jong-Gensler. He feels good about himself, doesn't he? And he loves the publicity stuff. He likes to see himself in the videos and all that stuff. He loves to, when he got to speak about how he was suing Kim Kardashian. Oh, he loves that stuff. I sued Kim Kardashian because I'm a complete prick. Yeah, he loves that stuff. He completely loves that stuff. So this is what we're working with. So no settlement for Ripple today. Womp womp. Still optimistic for, positive ruling as far as that goes. But yeah, if Eleanor Terrett's source is correct, and I'm willing to bet yes, because she doesn't report literally just everything. And if we're going to see this complete, midnight massacre, as it's called now, like the next few weeks are going to be offensive and ridiculous. They'll definitely be interesting, but not good at all. Definitely not good at all. Oh man, I just want this, at least for my own damn sanity and yours. I just want the damn SEC v. Ripple case to be over, because my God, for this to be hanging over everybody and to not know what's going to happen, it's just offensive. Like, I remember thinking, right after Ripple got sued, like early 2021, I'm sitting here thinking, especially when there was less known, it was concerning because I didn't know it was going to, I was like, I put a ton of money into XRP and they're allegedly just attacking Ripple. What does this mean for me as an XRP holder? And it just dawned on me. It's like, I'm waking up in the morning worried about an SEC lawsuit in my own personal life when I'm not even participating. Of course, the SEC would say anybody that has bought XRP, you are participating, but that's a bunch of BS nonsense. But I'm tired of this. I want this to be over. I want the clarity to be here because XRP holders deserve this. XRP holders shouldn't be having to go through this because the SEC makes an overbroad argument, wrecking people's lives, refusing to provide the clarity. It's disgusting and repulsive. None of us as regular people buying a cryptocurrency in secondary markets should have to wake up worrying about a lawsuit from the SEC. It is disgusting and ridiculous. Biscuit's all burnt up in this bitch. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.